Please welcome this week's special guest, Neil. So, Warwick, what is Neil to you?
Well, this is Neil, and he paid me to jump out of a tree in the park and propose to his girlfriend whilst dressed as an ewok.
Paul, how do you know Neil?
This is Neil, he's my neighbour, and when he goes on holiday, I look after his parrot and take it out in the cage for a walk.
And finally, Lee, what's your relationship with Neil?
This is Neil, and to prove my manhood, I once assaulted a womble in front of him.
So there we have it. Warwick's park proposer, Paul's parrot-walking neighbour, or Lee's womble witness. David, where do you want to begin?
Where to begin?
Yes. So, Warwick.
Yes.
Clarify exactly the transaction that you underwent with Neil.
He paid me to dress as an ewok and propose to his girlfriend.
So, but if you proposed to his girlfriend, you then might have to marry his girlfriend.
No, he was on his behalf. I mean, himself and his girlfriend were huge Star Wars fans.
So you have got the costume at home just all the time?
Well, I was given one after working on
they
the
give you
film.
one? Because
You ought to get that on eBay. Then you wouldn't have to jump out of trees and propose to people.
You're obviously a successful actor, you know, obviously been in Star Wars, and you must have been doing better than having to pick the little jobs like this up.
Yeah, but I mean...
He's here, isn't he?
There are sort of ups and downs in any actor's career.
I say it again, he's here, isn't he?
What was your line? What did you have to say?
Well, I hopped out of the tree and I went, yup, yup, which is Ewok language for yippee. And I said, on behalf of Neil, will you marry him? And thankfully she said yes. And then he came out from behind a bush.
I don't...
So the girl was in the park by herself. He's hiding behind a bush. He's not with her that day.
No.
You jump out of a tree dressed as an Ewok, saying yup yup, and she stayed still and waited to hear the rest of the sentence.
No, Neil and I had organised it. She always went this way home from work.
So she was walking home from work as well. She was relaxing.
Yeah.
Was it after dark?
No, it was in the summer.
Okay.
So you knew she'd passed that particular tree?
Yes.
What was her name?
Tracy.
That is a name.
That is a name.
So you just walk away, leaving the two lovers together, and you just go home and feel...
That's an image, isn't it?
Mission
Them
accomplished.
kissing and in the distance, a little Ewok walks away like that, with a little wave,
Mission accomplished.
just as he goes over the horizon.
Yup.
My job here is done.
Yeah.
As he's giving out the leaflets for the local restaurant.
And did you get an invite to the wedding?
Yes, I did, yeah.
You did. Did you go?
No, I didn't go.
No.
There's no money in that.
And how did it come about? How did he get in touch with you? And
Well, Neil came to a Star Wars convention that I was at.
Right.
And I knew him when I was a kid. I didn't really remember him, but then when he asked me, look, I'm going to propose to my girlfriend, she's a huge fan, you know, and offered me some money to do it. I mean, I still...
That's what friends are for.
And had there been a progression of, like, did he start with Han Solo and go, right, he doesn't want to do it?
All relationship starts with Han Solo.
OK, well, let's move on to Paul. Now, Neil is your neighbour.
Yeah.
And he owns a parrot.
Yes.
Why does the parrot need walking?
It needs to get out in the fresh air.
So you walk down the road just with the parrot in a cage?
Well, he's actually got...
It's not great exercise for the parrot, that, is it?
No, it's to get the air. It's to get the air, and it keeps
Couldn't
them...
you just use a hairdryer?
What colour is the parrot?
Well, it's got a blue head and sort of bronzy bronzy wings.
Blue head, brown wings.
Yeah, a little dark
Sure,
down
it's
the
not
bottom.
a pigeon.
Yellow. It's bright blue.
I mean, you seem to me too busy to be doing that as well. What does your neighbour do for a job?
Poor Warwick, but he doesn't seem too busy to be doing jumping out of trees.
I think you'd take it into the garden, just let it get some fresh air.
No, it's actually the movement. He wants to see where,
Well, you could walk around the garden, couldn't you?
He could do,
You know
but...
those washing lines on a pole that spin round? You could just attach it to that
And where would you go on this walk, Paul?
We live in a village, and literally just up the lane, there's a little path which breaks out to the wheat fields, and literally, I don't go as far as I normally walk the dog, but about halfway up the field and back. He offered me to have this, it's like a haversack. It's weird. And it's got a connection, you can actually hold it on your back.
No way.
Yes.
In the cage?
In the cage.
Oh, I thought you meant without the cage, and I thought
Oh, no.
it could take off.
Now, what about Lee?
So, Lee, the womble assault.
Yes.
Tell the story.
Well, there was a womble, and I...
No, there wasn't. Wombles don't exist. It's a lie.
It's not an actual womble, it's a toy womble. And the story is I went away on holiday when I was 16, and it was me and Neil and another friend of ours, John, and we went to a little caravan site in Blackpool, and I took the womble with me, because I had this womble since I was a little kid. And I don't know why, but I took it on holiday with me, and when I opened the suitcase, them two mercilessly took the mickey out of me, and I said, that old thing, I don't even know how it got in there, and to prove my manhood, I got a pair of scissors, cut its ears off, and then burnt it on the fire, and was devastated, but I tried to show my manhood by just not being bothered. I don't bother about that, so...
Did you cry later on?
I was crying as I did it inside, but on the outside laughing. It's a bit like this show.
I will say, Lee, to me, you have never seemed more human. How did your friends react when you sliced up the womble with the scissors? Did they go, yeah, you're a great lad, or were they?
You and your boy talk.
I know. But, you know, yeah.
It was a pretty rough comprehensive you went to, wasn't it? Yes, they all said, you are a great lad. Together, as they chanted and rang their bells at the same time. You are a great lad, a great lad, a great... They danced around me and put up the maypole.
How did your friends react when they saw you? Did they sort of go, oh, yeah, that's great, ha, 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 he's one of the lads still? Or did they go, oh, my God, he's a maniac?
Right. They were only having a bit of fun going, it's your womble. They didn't expect me to go, no, it's not.
Yes, you burnt it
I burnt
as
his
well.
face against the fire in those.
Sorry, I'd forgotten that bit. Yeah. Priceless. I better burn its face so that I seem normal.
We need an answer, David. Is Neil Warwick's park proposer, Paul's parrot walking neighbour, or Lee's womble witness?
Joan, what do you think?
Well, I think if I was a fan of Warwick and the show, I would think that would be quite a larky thing to do.
I genuinely hope it's not true about Lee, because I think that must have been a very upsetting thing.
Me too.
And then it must be very upsetting when the point came you realise you have to use that terrible moment in your past on a TV comedy show.
David, it is series 7. I'm getting desperate.
I know.
By series 23, I'll be going, I had to see a child psychologist because Mummy left.
Go on the show with an eye patch on saying, I blinded myself in one eye before the show. Who knows? Will it be an eye or a wound? I think the parrot one is the least plausible for me.
I think Warwick's telling the truth. I think that's the closest to reality.
I hope it is.
I too think it's most likely to be Warwick that's telling the truth.
You think it's Warwick? You think it's
Yeah.
the Ewok? It's the jumping out of the tree and the proposal?
That's
okay.
what we're going with.
Right. Neil, would you please reveal your true identity?
Rob, my name is Neil, and I'm a friend of Lee's, and I witnessed the womble assault.
I think I feel 1,000 years older.
Thank you very much, Neil. Thank you.